conversation will rule the nation on face-to-face basis when we blast off. It's real on the dance floor, on the turf of the court. Yeah, we here for the sport, so take your mask off so I can hear your ass talk. Let me hear you explain. Hold the thoughts on your brain. Is your ass smart? Spit facts and real talk. I need that shit from the street that make you think real deep and take a long walk. This podcast is hella lit with my man J Defense and Schizo Blizzard.
What it do, family? Welcome back. Here we go again. Masculine Couple Podcast. We got J Defense in the house.
It's your boy, Hollywood Skiz. We out here, new episode.
Got another guest in the house. Who we got in the house?
One and only, Top 10 T, baby. Back at it again.
Top 10 T. You see what it is, man. Y'all know Top T when she was on the podcast last week, but
she trying to steal my shine with this drink of the day and shit.
Yeah.
I did, and I just
till last week here.
I just came to put them on the table, that's all, you know.
She want to check now.
We wear these threes for a reason, because we want you to comment, like, and share.
Three for
like
the streets,
that.
right?
She
No.
always carried the right
Comment,
way.
like, and share. There you go.
And typically, we know Hollywood starts off the night with the drink of the day, but we're going to go the different route tonight. Again, like when T was here with the stretched legs, we're going to go with T-Bars right now to the drink of the day over
Let's
there
go,
in the
T.
corner. What you got for us tonight, T-Bars?
Today's drink of the day is going to be the Dragonfly.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
talk to me.
So what I'm gonna do first, I already got my little ice set up, you know.
Y'all see it.
Gotta get the ice going.
So you got dragon wings.
So I got a little bit of strawberry mixer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't y'all be trying to steal my recipe.
This shit going in the cookbook.
Promise you,
I mean,
it's going
cookbook
down.
and the drink book.
Yeah,
Got a little bit of
That's
triple
going
melon
in the drink
Alizé.
You don't get no percentage. You want to sign a waiver when we put in the drink book.
I know y'all see me pouring, y'all think I'm not measuring, but I don't have to because my mixer already has that on it.
Y'all see it? She trying to show me out. She can't come next week, man. She exposing me.
Dragonberry Bacardi. We're going to pour it to the line.
Dragonberry
So
Bacardi?
Which line? It's to the line. To the line.
to the
What
meat.
is that?
I need a little bit of simple sugar, just squirt.
Okay.
You only need the simple thing.
I got some dragon
Put a
fruit.
whole bunch of shit in
Red
there.
Bull. Well, it's
I see it.
what it is.
You see it?
And
Damn.
last but not least, I gotta go in my little bag.
See, women are just extra with this shit. I'd have been over. This should have been done with me.
Because, you know, you can't have a dragonfly without the dragon fruit.
Shit.
You see
Squeeze
it?
that in here.
Fuck, you making an apple pie or something? Like,
Cut it out or nothing. All you gotta do is squeeze it in. And do what it do.
making Thanksgiving dinner?
We not making Thanksgiving dinner, so
God
we know
damn.
it's gonna be popping, trust me.
She need her own. You and Martha Stewart, you need your own show and shit. This shit's 45 minutes.
Later on, and we gonna let it do what it do.
I need a drink. I need some of that too. Oh shit. They shooting.
Yeah.
Hey, see?
Yeah. Hey.
As y'all see, it takes the same amount of time as baking a turkey. Cause fuck, she's been over there like an hour and shit. I gotta get some cups out. I need some of that.
Yeah, I definitely want to taste Jack.
I got a Hollywood Skiz to prove it. It look pretty.
Oh, it tastes even better. Don't.
We gotta get some of that.
First time.
This is actually my second one because I made sis a smacking apple.
How was that,
I
sis?
can't tell y'all about that because she already
Smacking apple. Let me write it down. That shit going in the drink book too.
She said it was not for sharing.
That's mine?
Yep.
Thank you, baby.
She said it was not for sharing, so y'all will not know about the apple.
We got her.
She's over there like, be quiet.
Smacking apple. Got that. What's this one? Dragonfly?
That is the dragonfly.
Dragonfly.
When you done making it, this is what it looks like.
Thank you, T. Shit, better job than I did. Shit, she detailed and
What it
everything.
looks like.
It's right there. She
See
made
the
one.
dragon fruit inside. Nice color.
Oh, good. You got a job.
Hit me up for your
that
summertime
shit
drink.
good.
I'm in the park tomorrow. Where the games is at?
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that was official.
But she got all the lady drinks. You gotta make some drinks for us too. Like 2 weeks in a row, lady drinks. We need some. We need some
He wasn't
heavy.
listening to me when I told him that I had. Listen.
My fault. Well, shit. Next week you doing
You need to make the ladies.
the corner thug drink.
Ladies. But yo, listen,
Ladies,
obviously,
my
I'm
Mercedes.
almost sorry that we didn't even start off this way, man, because
3 in the back, 4 for fat.
we definitely want to send a rest in peace to Bill Russell. If y'all don't know who Bill Russell is,
Shit, something
y'all
wrong
need
with
to
you.
Google him. Definitely like a pioneer. I say personally for me, as a man before an athlete, for the things that he did off the court. But I mean, I know definitely how his name ring bells is that I'm not an idiot, and to not acknowledge that everything he did on the court, 11 rings, Boston Celtics, player coach, first African American head coach, and so forth. His resume speaks for itself. But like the civil rights, just living in a state, Boston, Massachusetts, or Mass, and what he had to go through, and just traveling, through some of these states where that prevalency of racism was just so highly prevalent, and how he still continued to fight that and still continue to play a sport. Just rest in peace to Bill Russell and his family.
Right, he paved the
shout out
path
to
for all us community activists and world activists. Before it was common, he was out there on the forefront fighting for our rights in certain things. So you definitely got to tip your hat to this dude. Not even the basketball, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're what he did for us as a people. So we're gonna miss you, Bill Russell, but we learned a lot from you, and we're gonna carry on.
And also Nichelle Nichols. I mean, some of you guys know her from Star Trek. She, rest in peace to her, and sorry to the family and everything. But like, she was the first African American to actually kiss a white man on camera, or what have you. But her livelihood was deeper than that, or what have you. A well-known actress, did a lot of things within the community and on film. So rest in peace to her too.
She's the first one to wear a little mini skirt too, huh?
The Daisy Duke
Star
before
Trek
Daisy Duke.
mini skirt. But yeah, rest in peace, and condolence to the family too. Nichelle Nichols.
All right, so now we want to jump right into it, man. We're gonna speed through a couple of these topics real quick, but we definitely have to acknowledge that Will Smith came out and he apologized to Chris Rock for slapping him. What's your take on that?
Somebody should smack Will Smith nigga for that shit. I mean, he did what he had to do. I mean, he was forced to do. I don't know. It wasn't sincere to me, so it wasn't something memorable. I can barely remember it if I don't watch it every 3 seconds. So to me, he did what he had. He was told to do, should have did, but was it from his heart? I'm not so sure myself. So, Chris Brown is a legend. Chris Rock's a legend, and he can't diminish that. So, Will Smith, whatever, Will.
I'm on that same note, because as much as we love Will Smith, and as much as he's done, just for the African American community, especially from hip hop going into movies, being a $1 billion box office type of individual, we love to see that. But for me, a little bit too late. Like, I mean, when it's official, you know, you come right out, listen, I messed up, I effed up, you say how you want to say it, but from the heart it comes right out. Like, yo, I screwed up, man, like something awful. When it takes you a month and a half, 2 months to come out and have this sort of revelation and sit down and apologize, like you almost look like a politician to me. So, and that's not how we move. So for me, it was a little offhanded, but you know, plus we already know that those communities stick together. Prime examples in Madison Garden in New York. You see Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle came out, presented Chris Rock, the GOAT, man, gave him a GOAT, man. Like, listen, I think they all united. Like, it's no knuckles.
This nigga ain't the GOAT though, but that's a different
So for now, for this time, you know what I mean? So I understand. For them, like, because you gotta remember, like, GOAT? I think that for Chris Rock and those guys that came up, Chris Rock's age,
yeah,
that Richard Pryor was the GOAT for them, right?
Yeah.
So now Richard Pryor probably had his own GOATs or what have you. So what I'm saying is, they're not saying you're the GOAT of comedy, like you're not the best, but who we grew up watching, who we consider being a GOAT to us, and I think that fits that realm for them. So like a Dave Chappelle and a Kevin Hart, they were watching Chris Rock. Okay. And Chris Rock put in that work. Like, you talking about acting and comedian, like Chris Rock.
He's one of the best.
Right. So
just GOAT, just that word GOAT, that's all. It just turns into a different conversation, but that's for another night. That's all. GOAT, like, that's just, man, shit. Eddie Murphy, fucking Richard Pryor, like, them is GOATs to me, and I don't get that title to too many other people. That's all. Like, it's hard to get that GOAT shit. Before Jordan, there was no GOAT.
Because I was about to say, similar to if we took it to basketball, you know that Wilt Chamberlain was the GOAT. And then some people even say Bill Russell was the GOAT at that time. Then if you really look at it,
I never heard Bill Russell being a GOAT, ever. Chamberlain, kinda, but the big talk, a real GOAT was Jordan, like when you heard it everywhere. I think
when you heard it, you got to think that your grandfather and them had those same conversations, right? You don't think your grandfather, that when they sat down and watched basketball, they was like, he was the best player, he's the GOAT, he's the best player. That's what I'm saying, is that word GOAT isn't just used today. It's been used for eons. Like, everybody considered the best at some point.
No, I get that, but I don't think that list is long, and I don't want to discuss that because we can go into it for hours. The GOAT is not a long list of even errors. It's not. Wilt Chamberlain was a GOAT. I don't think there was another GOAT until Michael Jordan, and now they're considering LeBron a GOAT. I think it was only 3, so it's not a big
so I see what you're
argument.
saying. That'll be another podcast. So y'all stay tuned to that.
There you go.
But obviously, the way we do it and the way we love to do it is we always get into one of those mask uncovered question of the nights,
or statement.
So tonight, it's really not a question, like he said. It's more or less commentary. Like, we want to speak on what's in the news today. Obviously, sometimes we talk about topics that's in the news, but this is really prevalent, and we want to get input from our guests, and this is why they're here. If you haven't seen what took place, Sesame Place, where some of the cartoon characters are walking around and they're not giving love or attention to minority kids. And this has been going on the last month or so. Please Google it if you haven't. And then just 3 days ago happened in New Jersey again with another African American family where, they was in Chuck E. Cheese, and the Chuck E. Cheese is walking around giving young Caucasian kids high fives, and then when it came to like a little 2-3 year old African American little kid that just one of the five, like he just turned around and gave him his ass to kiss. So where does that make you go? What does that make you think of? What's your take on something like that that's still happening today?
I don't know if it's so much deep-rooted racism in Sesame Place and the Sesame Street characters, because we've never heard any of that. We've grown up on them, on Sesame Street characters, and we love them. We never equated that with racism. But the situation that just happened, let's keep it to the situation. I want to just keep it to that situation and how the child felt. That's all I care about. Like, they were completely wrong with how they handled it. The characters, each character was completely wrong with how they handled that. I don't know if it was because of training or what, but they made that child feel like the child probably loved those characters all their life, their short life, and that just gave them a bad taste. And I don't think they'll ever really respect another Sesame Street character because of that incident. So, and it crushes you as a child because Sesame Street characters are hero when you're that young. So, I just want to focus more on the child's feeling than going into so much of it being race bait. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a history of that to dwell on that. I think I want to dwell on how the kids felt and how do you have people who are that ignorant wear that costume when your history of Sesame Street characters is big in our community. We looked at them as heroes in the black community, the white community. So I don't think that person represented that character well, because I've never heard any other race incidents until now.
I mean, I wanted to say that, some generation of kids, or parents, I should say, may not even really relate to Sesame Street as much. But I think it's on the same level as, like, what Barney became for the kids, or Blue's Clues became for the kids. It was big like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I think the hurt that child felt because, he wanted a high five, and kids at that age don't see color.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
the child doesn't know or not feeling hurt because, they didn't want to give me a high five because I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at it, my favorite character didn't want to give me a high five. You know what
Yep.
I mean? As adults, we can look at it a little deeper as far as, the
course.
race correlation to it, but to the child, it's just like, I was standing here to get a 5, and I didn't get a 5. You know what I mean? So that's how they can take that situation. So you can look at it two different ways. So as adults, we're looking at this like, there was a racial component to it
Of course.
as to why that happened. But from the child's point of view, they were hurt.
Right.
That, they were disappointed, they were hurt to see that happen, and all they wanted was that, and they was looking for that and to not get it. So I think at that level, to make the child feel whole, they really needed to do something to make that child feel like, you know what, it was just a mistake.
Right. Right.
But from the parents' point of view, if they do feel that it was a racial component to it, that's a whole different, level that they can take this to. So that's kind of how I see that. The child doesn't see it as a racial thing.
Right.
They see it as, I'm hurt.
Perfectly
See,
said.
But the way I understand like what you're saying, but the main thing is that there's over 50 videos of people that came out. That's why right now there's a $25 million lawsuit going against Sesame Place, where once that one video came out, a lot of families were like, wow, I didn't know, I thought it was just my child that one day.
Mm-hmm.
So like now it seems like now we have to be the adults in the room. So I understand, and that's a great perspective, because you look at the kid and it's like, how can you hurt a little kid's feeling? So like now you actually look at the individual that's under that mask, that's a mascot or under a costume, You say, how could you even have it in your heart to give all of these other kids 5? If you just watch one video, you see a lot of Caucasian kids getting 5. And then you come to the black kids and it's like, no, that's just one video. There are many other videos of that same scenario taking place at the same place. So that's why they're now having this, multi-million-dollar lawsuit. It wasn't just one family that said, okay, this happened. And then for this to transpire in New Jersey just 3 days ago. And this video's been out, this whole thing's been going on with Sesame Place over the last month. So this is prevalent. This is, everybody and their mother should know, okay, if you own an establishment, make sure that you are according to our so-called rules and regulations that I would assume that you see kids, your job is to entertain the kids. And yet and still we have this going on. So when I say being an adult in the room, I have to say, I don't know who's under these costumes, but the one thing I do know is what I see. They are giving Caucasian kids a lot of love, a lot of high fives and stuff, and when it comes to the minority kids, they're walking by. I have a problem with that.
I don't know about
And that goes to the this is for the management. You need to know who you have working for you that's representing your brand. Sesame Street has been around since we were kids.
Yeah.
And for me right now, my son, they would have had a problem.
Right.
It was
You got a
going to
young
be a
child.
whole situation with me and my son at that, whether I was at Chuck E. Cheese or I was at Sesame,
They
whatever
do
they
that
call
shit.
it. It was going to be a situation right then and there.
Right.
I wasn't going to wait. We was going to handle it right now.
Right.
Because who is this person that you have that's making these kids feel like that?
Right. Right.
And
back
it's
to the
more
kids.
or less these kids these two girls literally watched you
Wow.
give these kids high fives. And
Sad.
then you came to them and shunned them like they wasn't even
Like
there.
this.
That's my problem. They sorry. It wasn't like it was an accident. It wasn't a mistake. You intentionally did that. So my thing to these people who have these businesses that are for kids, you need to have people working for you that wanna entertain these kids, that are there for the kids. Because that shit was disrespectful.
And fix it immediately.
I don't give a damn what color they were. It was disrespectful. And for you to treat those kids like that, you don't need to work in that environment.
Right.
That shouldn't be somewhere where you have a job at. You shouldn't have been the one that they hired. And they need to know who they're hiring.
There you go.
Because I'm sure this ain't the first time.
And I would even go a little further than just the management of Sesame Street itself. If I'm not mistaken, Sesame Street is broadcasted on the PBS station, which is the public broadcasting station.
Mm-hmm.
That particular station gets funding by the public to produce and show shows that are catered towards education and kids, right?
Kids. Mainly
So-
kids.
I would say this needs to even be bumped to that level, where the network itself needs to really feel responsible, because they have a program on their show that is supposedly, showing a general public of kids. It's not saying, we're just catering this towards a section of kids. It's for kids. So they're showing the Cookie Monster and Big Bird and all these lessons and different things that they're supposed to learn.
Let's not forget.
And that's not what they're not trying to portray that they love one set of children versus another, because they've had all races of kids on the Sesame Street program.
But let's
over the
not
years.
forget, Sesame Street and Sesame Place are different entities.
That's what I was gonna
say.
say.
So we can't put
Thank you.
all of that on. Sesame Street
Yeah.
has nothing to
Yeah.
do with that.
Yeah.
We're not saying they don't have anything to do with it, because the characters are from Sesame Street, but Sesame's Place is a complete different company than Sesame Street. So we can't forget that. We can't.
Be
That's what I was
that
gonna
as
say.
it may.
But
as
before-
I said before,
No,
I
that's-
don't give a damn about Sesame Place.
No,
I
that's-
care about who they hire and who they have with these kids. You know your job is to entertain kids, to interact with all kids. You don't get to pick and choose. And if you have a problem with certain people, you don't need to work there. Racism is taught.
But like you said, the one thing that we definitely want to put out there is that we don't want to tie, because Sesame Place versus Sesame Street, I'm not sure of the different entities.
But isn't that part of the same brand?
It may,
No,
but that's something
I
that
think Sesame Place is dealt with Disney World, or it's a different connection
right.
that I don't know.
Disney World and like Disney.
But all we want to do is we want to put out that this was Sesame Place that took part in.
Right.
That's it. Like, so what their ties to, we should have had all of that information. Unfortunately, we do not. But at least this transpired at Sesame Place. But also the newer event happened at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
where
the most current
the most current thing that happened 3 days ago was
Cheese.
another little minority child just sat here and watched this mouse give all of these Caucasian little girls love, high fives, what have you. And then you're talking about little 2 and 3 year old kids. We're not even talking about 7, 8 year old kids. Not to say that that should change anything, but like, how could you have it in your heart? Like you got up and you wore a costume. You fucking cowards. Like, I hate to say this, but like, it really pissed me off to see these are grown people that are sitting under these costumes. And I don't even know their race. And I don't even care about their race. The cowards that are in these costumes that are walking around and that would do that to just a child.
Right.
Like, but now it seems like you're
Remember,
singling
they're
out.
not blatantly just
Had it been my child, me
giving
and Chuck E. Cheese
high five
was
to
gonna
white
have a
people, like
problem.
black people getting high five. That's like
You
can't
haven't
say,
seen the 100 videos that I'm talking about then.
You didn't hear what I said.
Okay,
You make
yeah.
your own
Me
sorry,
and the
I'm
mouse
I'm
was
saying
gonna have a problem.
these characters are not missing every black child and giving a high five to all white child and skipping all black children is what I'm saying. That there's no video of that,
But how
so
do
you can't
you,
discriminate.
how do you
But
feel
all
about
we can talk about is what we have seen.
Right, but
So I can't say that hasn't happened. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
but
a
the
whole
only
parade.
thing,
Like I
but-
don't know how long that parade
but
is.
the one thing we can say for a
they
fact,
skipped a black child to
not
give white
skip-
people.
like I said, not one time. I'm telling you this: you don't file. What's the name of it? When you have a group like everybody's part of a whole charge. I forgot the name, but it's when they have all of these parents. Like there's hundreds of videos of this happening to minorities.
Yeah,
So
but what I'm saying is when you have a lawsuit, you got to be particular what your lawsuit is. You might not be able to use racism in that law. I mean, at that point, he overlooked the kid for a white kid at that point. But if you're going to go into racism, they're going to the whole parade.
Well,
Like
I
he gave high five to this black kid, high five to
How
this
do
black
you
kid.
respond?
I think it's just how that kid felt, and you just go on the kid's feelings or whatever you have to go.
But
with that.
how do you respond to it though? Like being a parent and it was your kid, then how do you respond? Like
Fuck
if it
that
was
one.
you would have been with your 3-year-old and he didn't high five your 3-year-old. Your 3-year-old told you, what is the action?
I swear, before you get off my
What you gonna
Get
do
me
in the
before- hold
incident,
on,
like you
before-
say, like when
before you get-
when it happens right
Watch
there,
this, watch
before you
this.
say
Before
something
he
to your
gets me
kids,
off my
what do you,
kilter,
he's right.
because
what are
he
you
is-
gonna do?
Dre is so good with getting me off my kilter. Yo, Boston Crab just came in the house. Yo, welcome back, my dude.
Yes, sir.
But I'm gonna let T Mac talk real quick before I lose. I'm
I
gonna
mean, I
get
just
to your
wanted
point.
to say to, the people that are watching, because I had to look it up,
Okay.
with Sesame Place, like what this is.
Yes.
And it is a,
Subsidiary of.
it's a Sesame Street themed park. So the characters
Okay.
are part of
Of
Sesame,
Sesame
Street.
Street.
So
Okay.
they're still in a line with each other. So
Okay.
that's their brand. So
Totally.
because of that,
Well, that was just
this
slim
program
down
is
the
broadcasted on a public broadcasting station, which
Fact.
Right.
receives donations
No, you was
and
right.
they ask
No.
for donations.
You-
So PBS needs to step up and say something and do something, because if they lose their funding, they won't have a program at all.
Totally agree. Now back to your question real quick. If you just missed, T Bars just spoke on it. She said if she was there, what would have took place front and center. And I can only imagine like how passionate I am about my family especially my kids, right? And if I saw, like, these people are videotaping this thing, and, like, when you see this actually happen, like, he's walking by, whatever's under that costume is giving all of these Caucasian kids high fives, love. These are little kids, and all they want to do is touch your hand or what have you. And you do this to my kid, or you just do whatever to my kid. I can only
The
imagine
rage.
It's a problem.
what I would do. And I'm gonna do you one better. I'll tell you what I did at Chuck E. Cheese when I brought my kids there to Chuck E. Cheese. The mouse, the costume character, didn't have a problem with my kids. He was following my wife around. I was with my family, my brothers and sisters. Like, I'm like, listen.
That's a nigga in
Now
that
watch
suit.
this. Now watch this. Now what I'm saying is, like, under the costume, there's a person.
And how do we know it's a white person?
I'm just saying, without yelling, I'm sitting
Yeah,
at Chuck
I'm
E.
saying,
Cheese
yeah.
20 years
That
ago,
just came
and I'm
to me,
saying,
bro. Just came to me.
I'm like, yo, the mouse supposed to be over here giving love to the kids. He keep going over there to my wife, right? Like, now this is 28, so like my girlfriend at the time, what have you. My brother and sister like, listen,
Tyrone under there.
you bugging out, man. Like, yo, stop playing and this, that, and the other. Like, yo, the kid, and I'm like, okay. Now watch. Every time, everywhere my wife went, man, when I tell you I was dragged, because they're looking at it like, this is the Chuck E. Cheese mouse.
Right.
I'm like, that's a costume. That's
That's
it's
all
a-
I'm saying. Yeah.
And when I try to tell you, drag out, like, listen, my brothers is like, look, tell me, tell you. So, and that's just that aspect. So if that person walked by my kid, disrespected my kid like that, and especially did that old no to the black kids,
Took care on the spot.
spot on.
Spot
What would
on.
you have done?
I really don't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
It depends. It depends on like the move, the moment.
No, we're being honest. This is masculine
is
cover.
fine.
This is where you take your
It's
mask
like,
off.
yo, it would have really just been like, depending on the move. But like Boston, I don't know. I probably would have smacked this shit off. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, especially if she would have came like, yo, I went to. That's crazy, but I be saying like, yo, a lot of this shit is problematic too, because it'd be like, yo, we have to look at it. Who is recording these videos? That's problematic. For you to be recording them, for you to say it was 100 video for motherfuckers to be waiting for him to not that the black kids is crazy.
But see,
Like,
you
that
gotta
shit's
you gotta look
problematic.
at it like so. If I take my son to Sesame Place, right? I know what I'm bringing him there for. This is a moment that I want to capture. If I know my son likes it, he's into it, he's excited about actually seeing these characters in person versus on TV, I'm going to be recording that shit. I want to see my son excited. I paid for him to go see this. We're going to get the most out of it. I'm recording. It's like when you go to a concert. You pay to go. You on your phone. You
But
going
do you-
live.
But do you keep
whatever
bringing
you
your
catch
kid
on it.
to not get that? Like, once we hear, okay, yo, they not
Only
dapping
take
niggas
one.
No,
no
but
more.
see,
We
but
should
it
not
only
go.
takes one
Only
time,
takes one time.
and that's what the problem is. The problem is that this incident that happened, it got airplay, so everybody got to see it. But as they said, this isn't the first one that they had. My problem with that is that when it happened before, those parents should have spoke up.
And it's a
They
character
should have
issue.
said something
It's a-
because
but
then
what
it
I'm-
probably wouldn't have
But what
happened
I'm saying
over
is
and
like,
over and over
yo,
again.
we don't stop anything. Like, the only thing we stop is each other. Like, we don't stop the powers that be. Like, when some shit happen like that, how many videos for is just like, yo, we ain't going there. That
We
shit
don't.
stop all that shit.
Niggas put up
But
videos
we
of
keep
don't.
putting videos up and entertaining
Niggas say stop
videos
wearing
get 3
Gucci, stop
million.
wearing, but nobody
Right.
ever follow. You're right.
But
So
I'm saying,
what do we?
Gucci? Nobody follow.
But what
that
I'm
shit.
saying, I'm
I was
on your
like,
side.
somebody-
What I'm saying is, we're just doing talk shows. Nobody ever. The consumptions of black people into brands. We make brands, but we never stop supporting the brand when it fucks with one of our brothers. Like,
And that's
we
how it
still
should be.
buying this shit. Niggas
Right.
still buying Gucci,
But that's
Louis
because
Vuitton,
people
Nike.
wait till
Niggas
the
still
last
gonna go to
minute
Chuck E.
to tell
I still
you
see
about
people
what
at
they- what
Sesame
happened
Place
with
and
them
Chuck E.
in the-
Cheese. So basically, What the fuck
then
are we
right
talking
now-
about
and then
tonight
right now,
if we're not
what
going to stop
motherfuckers
supporting
do-
these places?
What motherfuckers to do is just wait till they come and say, well, we're going to issue a apology. Well, what the fuck do it matter now? We done seen the videos.
Take
it
our
already
money
happened.
out the shit.
Yo, let's not go there no more.
Take your money
Well,
out of
one,
these places.
I wasn't taking my son to Chuck E. Cheese anyway.
I do. My
I
kids
just
love
wasn't
it.
Doing it. And two, like I said,
Not now.
if
Make sure
somebody
they
would
chase
have
your wife
posted a
down.
video when that shit happened a long time ago, because I'm
Boston
sure a
retired
lot of
Chuck
these
E. Cheese
videos
in 10
already
minutes.
came. A lot of people have these recordings from a long time ago. But if that one parent would have said, I felt it was racially profiled, or my kid went and this is what happened. If they would have said something about that then, and some of us would have seen that, I promise you, people wouldn't have been taking their kids there.
Who's these people behind the costumes
My
too,
son's
though?
not gonna-
Who's
after I
under the
seen
costume
that,
before we know it's
I don't-
racially
It
motivated?
doesn't matter. who's
Nigga, if it's a
under the
nigga under the
costume.
costume, if it's a nigga
It
in that
doesn't matter.
It
who's
does
under
matter.
the costume.
With the
It doesn't
components of
matter.
race, it matters.
From what I saw, period. The fact that you work here and you're doing this to these kids, making these kids
But
feel
we
some
go
type
get
of
our-
way,
we go
I don't
get
want
our
my
nails
son to
done
go
I
there.
agree with that.
From
That
places
part.
that we know do not like us and what we bring. We know that. We don't do that. We just keep going. Even if we feel
Bottom
like,
line.
I'm just going to go in. Either way we go. A lot of these places
Before
we
we
use
take
every
off.
day,
Mm-hmm.
they don't fuck with
Because I
us.
want to comment
But I
on
also
that.
We
wanted
don't
to
stop.
kind of include the fact that it wasn't about what the parents, as parents, we don't always do what we want to do. We want to be appeasing to our kids.
Right.
So if our kids fall in love with a character,
Good point.
we get excited for them even if we don't really know, everything about that character. We want to learn about it because they're interested in it.
Yep.
So I can see how a parent would want to bring their child to experience this character, in real life versus what they see on television.
But then we got to explain that too, and then be able to sit our kids down and show them the video of a black kid's not. See, that's the thing too. I feel
But
we
a
have to do.
2-year-old or a 3-year-old might not understand.
They don't see
They
color.
might not understand, but what I'm saying, like, when they go to 7, 8, we got to explain that.
Facts.
This is what it is.
Yeah,
Look
older,
what they do.
older.
Not
yeah,
younger,
yeah.
though,
No,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like they need to know why this ain't okay too. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, we're talking about 2 or 3 years.
All they
If you
see
watch
is a
the
character
videos,
anyway. They don't see
all
color
of these
behind
are
that
two.
suit.
These kids are all under 5 years old. So it's funny because I said that earlier. I said, listen, we talking about 7, 8, 9, those same ages. You can have those conversations. When you're talking about under 5, under 4, these kids, all they see is a character like you said. And then now you just made me think of something. If I brought my child to a Chuck E. Cheese, what do I look like beating up the mouse? So like sometimes now I think back, like now what I really
Explain it to
had.
him when he's 16.
Why
beat
I
the
would
shit
say,
out of
Yeah,
Chuck?
a
I would
lot
definitely
of
now,
times
back
so.
then maybe like
See,
but now
back
I
then
think about
we got to
it.
do it the way, like, how the mom do. Chucky didn't dap my daughter. Cool. We gonna bring Chucky in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah,
Now
I was thinking
Chucky
the same
gonna come
thing,
back
yeah.
and give her a pizza,
Yeah,
a hug, a picture.
yeah. I was thinking
Hey,
the
you know
same
what I'm
thing,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
It would be
you gotta
different.
handle
It would
that
be
shit different, like,
Different.
because you was out of order, and even me coming at you is not coming at you on no fucked up shit. Yo, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Even if we have to go have a talk, as just men, it don't even lead to about, yo, what the fuck you
I had
doing?
to talk. I had to
You know what I'm
talk. I
saying?
had to
Like, yo,
talk
you
with
out
that
of order,
mouth.
because like you said, it's somebody under that fucking joint.
Right, and
Yo.
it's
Ain't like it's a
definitely going to
robot.
be a conversation with the mouse and the people that
And
he
the
works
management.
for,
Yo.
and we're going to do it right now. We're going to do
that
it.
mouse might
Because
not know
Big
me, but I
party, I don't
guarantee
give
he
a
won't
shit.
Hold
fucking
on,
forget
a
me.
kid needs instant gratification.
Well, let me tell
You can't let that go any further because that'll fuck the whole
Well, let me say
kid's
this too,
image
right?
of who it is. You gotta fix that right there.
Where we at with it, right? This is how fucked up with it, right? When I see shit like that. The world we are in right now is so much entertaining, like dumb shit, bullshit, to where I can kind of go with motherfuckers knowing who and I'm gonna bring my kid up there. Don't doubt my kid, and we're gonna post it. Like I can see the world we live in today. You can't put shit past we're gonna make this shit up because everything is kind of made up. So I can see that part. Even when I was thinking about it, like 100 videos, nobody said nothing, no fights. Like this shit gotta have some type of skip shit to it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we got to start seeing a lot of shit like that. Like, people are making TikToks, doing all type of shit that look real. and then you find out and go hard and then be like, oh no, that was never real. Like when just, what was that, like a week or two and we was all talking about the McDonald's shit, not giving the kid this shit. But people made so much of an uproar about the female that she finally came out and said, nah, we was just doing a skit.
Yeah.
What you doing?
I mean, I think part of, what Dre's talking about, all these hundreds of videos or whatever that are now coming out, or parents are now saying that this happened to my child. I think where we kind of get stuck as a community is that I shouldn't say we, but other minority groups don't see us as one of them. They're a minority just like we're a minority.
Right.
And I think we could actually make huge change if what happens to one minority group happens to everybody. Because they may not care about our dollars, but they may care about the African American community, they may care about the Mexican community, they may care about the Asian community. If we all come together and say, you know what, this is a problem, and unite. And unfortunately, we are taught, or they are taught, to separate themselves from us. Because the gay community comes together. They don't care if you're black
whether
or
you
white.
L,
Nah,
B,
but see,
T,
that's what I'm
G,
saying.
like
Nah,
whatever.
but the thing with us is like
They come together.
we can't form together to say, okay, yo, let's get with the Ricans and let's get with the Asians, and we all together can't stand as a whole and go handle a situation.
That's what she said.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
the most
That's the
important part
problem.
when it comes to us as black people. Like, we can't come together and say, yo, this shit was an injustice. Let's go. No.
That's what- yeah, that's what
Because
we
you're
all
going to have
Right.
some motherfuckers that feel, wasn't my kid. Then
Yep.
we going
Right,
next
and
week.
that's the
Yep.
problem.
That's
And
what
then you got
everything
smoke,
we
like-
do, not just it's just
Yeah.
everything we do.
No, that's
it's
why
separate.
That's
Because
why
they
we're
all
always
forget
the
that
one
it take a
that
village
get
to
fucked
raise
up.
That's
a child.
exactly why
You know
we're
what I'm
all
saying?
We are the
And that's what
village.
niggas don't understand.
Yep.
When you shoot individually, everybody get fucked. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's just gonna happen to them. It's gonna happen to all of us at some point.
And we're our worst enemy. Niggas
And
gonna
they
go
know
bang
that
on
shit.
another nigga, but you ain't gonna do nothing
They
against
know
another
when,
culture.
like if we hearing, you felt, yo, this shit was crazy. Yo, why the fuck they do? They know it's still two people in this room that's
Right.
like, yo, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna rent the joint.
And what's the
That's
You
my
know,
solution?
you understand what I'm saying? They know we're not gonna all stand together for a situation.
And what was the response from Sesame Place? Now
None.
that this video has become,
That they're
Wow.
gonna try.
Like, what are they
yeah.
gonna
They're
do?
gonna
They're
try
doing
better
it.
training, and they're gonna
Oh, you
try to
should
make
see.
this.
You should see the videos that's out with the woodpecker, woodlawn, or whatever. Man, they got the kids that was calling out to one of the characters. They got one big
Rosita,
ass
what's her name?
character
That's
like
she's
that
the
was
enemy,
coming,
she's the villain,
and the
Rosita.
kid was calling like the other character. You see this one like stop what he was doing. Was like, listen, come from over there. These kids want you. Like you can see that they're putting the emphasis on. Like, listen, I forgot it was woodpecker, whatever the costume character was. These particular kids was calling out for the other one, while one was right there. But once he heard him calling out the other one, he like, listen, come over. And that daggone thing ran up and gave the little black kids hugs, kisses, picked them up and everything. So, but it sucks that
But
it
why do we
took
be
for that
wanting
to happen.
like, why is it like everything we don't make, we want to be accepted at? Like, I wonder why we always want to be accepted somewhere else. Like, we're always shocked when motherfuckers don't fuck with us.
But that's what
No,
I was
but
going to
think
go.
the difference in
And,
this
and the only thing that's different with it, it's a
about
kid.
kids.
Right, but even with that, it's like, it's showing, yo, we don't want y'all here. When do motherfuckers start to get the point? We got to build our own in order to
Right.
have
You know,
something.
But hold on. Let me say something. But when we do that, when we build our own, we're still our worst enemy. We fuck our own up. You know what I mean? Like
That's
so
what
we
I'm saying. Right
it's,
now, yo, listen,
it's,
right now,
it's mental first before
right
we
now,
start.
you said, yo, you know
It's
what?
mental.
That everybody that shit been happening to, right? We're gonna start our own pocket. We're gonna give all y'all free tickets for the summer. On the strength it says black dude, nobody still might not show up
But you know what?
because it's black. You
A
know what I'm
good-
saying?
Right.
Yo, but
Right.
a
We
good,
don't support our own, man. It's,
a good point to that is what I was gonna
it's
top it
sickness,
off with.
man. Willie Lynch still in us.
But
Well,
we've been
hold on.
doing it
This
because,
real
like I
quick.
say, everybody that get
It's
money in our
programmed.
community is not us.
No, but even if you look
know what I'm
at
saying?
look at how we treat each other. The prime example,
It's still,
and we could top it off with this. We could end it with we could respond to Sean John, Rockaway, the clothing line, stuff like that. Like you'll see cats right now. Shit, I'm going to Polo. I got Polo tickets, but it's like if I come out with a Rockaway T-shirt on in my own community, what is it? Old school. It's why you wearing that knockoff, whatever. And I got a Rockaway T-shirt that I still, work out in or whatever. But
It's
like
not black
better
owned. They
fuck-
sold. Remember, they sold their shit. So I'm not wearing no Rockaway no more. They
Why?
sold it to Whitey's.
Why?
Whitey's
No, I'm
want it
just-
now. Whitey's want
that's
Sean
enough.
John now. That's why.
But even then,
Sean John got it back. Sean John got it back. But
He
either
did?
way,
Okay.
but
All right.
but still, the point of it, they'd have never sold it. They'd have never
Yes,
sold
we was
it.
killing Rockaway.
They would have never. Guess
Niggas
what?
was crazy.
If
Niggas
we-
was supporting Rockaway.
They would have never
I
sold
forgot
it
what came
They-
out.
unless
Rockaway came out
What?
and blew them up.
Rockaway is a little different because they ended up splitting up, whatever.
Right,
But
right.
either way, but back to again, nobody said Ralph Lauren ain't sold nothing ever because he ain't have to.
But what I'm saying is, when we become owners, we still fall
Because we
victim to the
chase
dumb
it.
shit. Because nigga offers us 200 million. That's our soul. We
And I-
sell it. Is what I'm saying. So
I'm not
who do
denying
we
that.
who do we
what's crazy?
follow?
You know what's
Fubu?
crazy as
Like
shit,
we're
right?
still with
Listen what
Fubu
I'm saying.
shit.
Sean John or Rockaway, right? At their prime, they was moving. You could get
Both of
you
them.
could get
Echo,
jeans,
Mark
whatever,
Echo,
right?
all of them.
So when we was getting it, once we see a black owned company in like a Marshalls, we immediately discredit it. Immediately. Oh shit, that shit in Marshall. Them niggas must be fucked up.
But
that's what I'm
Polo,
saying.
Nautica, all of that's in
it's
Marshall. All of that.
And we never think about it
Right.
when it's them.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when it's
yeah, we
like,
don't. But
yo,
when
that's
it's our
shit,
joint, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
shit in Marshall.
Oh, that's in
shit
Marshall,
must
yeah,
be
no,
falling
done.
off.
Yep.
But also, this is the reason why those black-owned companies, you got to get it while it's hot because they know what our tendency is. I'm gonna be hot for 5 years, and then what are these boys gonna do
No,
to
I
me?
get it. It's still
They're
part
gonna-
of the cycle.
but
Some
no,
nigga
no,
gotta
no,
stand
no,
the test of time
Check,
and
you
try
know-
to ride
you
it
know-
out.
you
I
know
know
why
what you're
that-
saying.
you know why that don't make sense,
you gotta
But
ride
like you
it out.
said,
Somebody
I
gotta
started
ride it
something
out.
for $2.
Fubu did.
I started something for $2, and now I'm up to somebody want to buy it for $200 million.
But think about
and I already know that a cat like
No, you
Vince
don't gotta
is
finish.
gonna-
I understand.
Yeah, a cat like
but
Vince.
somebody gotta be the brave one and ride it
I
out.
agree.
Listen,
Totally.
listen,
No,
niggas-
we
yo,
all on the
listen,
same
listen,
thing.
fuck with us.
Listen what I'm trying to say. Like,
And we'll end on what you
every black clothing line that came out,
Thoughts?
particularly targeted us. Everything, the
Yep.
fit, the coat, everything.
Fact.
Right?
Yep.
In some way,
The color, the
in
size.
some way, they didn't keep going on. Every fucking thing we wear was not targeted towards us.
Right.
It was not even like we
see how
didn't
it
even think
fit?
about you niggas when
Yeah,
it
see
meant
how it
what
fit?
we
Right,
fit.
right.
And,
And they even pissed off that we're wearing it.
Right.
And they been
They
pissed
don't,
off
they
that
don't
we're
make
wearing
no
it.
money off
They
us. They
should.
don't give a fuck if we
And that's
wear
what
it or
I'm trying
not.
to
And they
Like,
making
right,
more money
you're
off
right.
of
They
it.
make Tommy fucking purple, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be, jeans.
Yeah.
None of them jeans are
Yes.
for us.
Remember
And we
Gas
don't like
Jeans?
it. We see a nigga in the video son and that trend go. Like niggas don't really like that's what's popping now. Niggas don't always like the shit they got on. But
And I
another
say that,
day,
the same
another
way niggas
dollar.
Can, blow up anybody. That's the same way we could blow each other up. Like
Right.
if niggas wanted to today, tonight niggas can all come together and make anybody's clothing line the best shit tomorrow morning.
Good.
Just us as black people.
Sign
We can
it
all
off.
just get under
Yeah.
that and just do it.
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. So yeah, we back on, man. Let's what the fuck is that shit saying? Hold back the live. Yes, sir. Yes. don't lose your mental. Listen, man. Again, man, we wrapping up, man.
You
Another
know
good
what this
show,
is,
man.
This shit stop, man. We in the building.
Always.
Nah, this ain't this just nah. Fuck with you. Yo, it's always,
It
man.
is.
Listen, this should stop, man. Master Cover Podcast, man.
Good.
Yo, thanks for tuning in, man.
Missing
Subscribe, like
Johnny,
the
wherever
channel.
she at with her
Yo,
big
Machine
ass
Gun Johnny, man. Shout
No,
out
we got
to you,
T in the
man.
back.
Got
Thank you
T.
for the
Yeah,
drinks
shout
of
out
the
to
day,
T-Bars,
baby.
man.
Appreciate
Drink of the
you
day,
holding
top
it
10
down.
team.
Drink of the day, that's what it was.
I was ready to
That
say I couldn't get no
dragonfly.
slushy joint.
Oh,
Shit is good.
shit.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it.
Oh, you
missed
get it's a
it.
little bit more spit in this one. All right, y'all. We holla, man. Love me.
Yeah, there was some more ice in here.